Hi, welcome to another episode of Local Roots. I'm Todd and today I want to shine the light on an organization that is quietly changing lives every single day right here in our communities. It is NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and more specifically, NAMI Southwest Iowa. Maybe you have heard the name before. Maybe you've seen the logo at a local event. Or maybe you heard me talking about it, which I do frequently here on this show. But I want to take a little time to go deeper today because understanding what NAMI does and why it matters is one of the best ways we can support our neighbors, our communities, and honestly, ourselves. That is the topic today on Local Roots, NAMI Southwest Iowa. But first, the studios on Willow are opening this December inside the historic Park Building in downtown Council Bluffs. This is a creation and a collaboration between Les Hills Media and Podcast and Tailslate Agency. This new space brings professional audio and video recording to the heart of downtown Council Bluffs, including high-quality video podcasting for businesses, service organizations, and anyone ready to share their message. Book your podcast time now at a reduced rate of $50 per studio hour and schedule as much time as you need. Call 712-330-9306 or visit leshillsmedia.com to connect with me. Les Hills Media and Podcast, Tailslate Agency, and the studios on Willow. Your voice amplified. Unique Boutique Iowa in Neola is your go-to place for local styles right here, put together by a local mom and former educator, Jamie Bush. She is in Neola on 4th Street and just had a great color analysis event over the weekend. She's always looking for fun things to do out there in the community because Jamie supports where she lives as well as supports her clients. So stop in, Unique Boutique Iowa. She's open on the weekends, but also you can shop anytime online at shopubiowa.com. You know, we talk a lot about community in Southwest Iowa. We talk about how we look out for one another, how we step up when somebody needs a hand, and how we make sure that no one feels forgotten. That is who we are. But there is an entire group of people in every community who often feel overlooked. People facing mental health challenges. They may be smiling on the outside, but struggling internally. They may be showing up to work, taking care of the family, attending community events, yet feeling completely alone on the inside. NAMI Southwest Iowa is dedicated to making sure that these people are seen, supported, and most importantly, connected. Let's start with the basics. NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. It is the largest grassroots mental health organization in the country. Its purpose is simple. Advocate for individuals and families affected by mental illness, provide education, build support networks, fight stigma, make sure people do not have to walk through the hardest moments of their lives alone. NAMI's foundation goes back decades. It was built by families who were tired of watching loved ones struggle with no guidance, no resources, and no understanding from the world around them. They were tired of silence, tired of shame, tired of people being dismissed or misunderstood. And instead of waiting for change, they created it. That spirit of taking action, that belief that no one should fight alone, still guides everything NAMI does today. NAMI is built on the idea that real change does not come from the top down. Real change starts in the community. Real change starts with everyday people saying, we can do better for each other, and NAMI Southwest Iowa is exactly that. A full extension of the national organization with a completely local focus. This is neighbors helping neighbors. This is people right here in Southwest Iowa, regardless of the counties that you live in, Potawatomi, Mills, Montgomery, Page. NAMI Southwest Iowa covers 9 counties in all, and they are stepping up to make sure no one falls through the cracks. This organization brings national knowledge with a deeply local touch. They know our towns. They know our people. They understand our rural challenges, our values, and our way of life. They understand how difficult it can be to reach out for help when you live in a small community where everyone knows your name. They understand the hesitation that comes when someone fears being judged, misunderstood, or labeled. And that is exactly why they work so hard to meet people where they are and offer support that feels personal, respectful, and safe. So what does NAMI Southwest Iowa actually do? Well, a lot. More than most people realize, and that is part of the reason this conversation is so important. They provide education programs. They offer support groups. They connect families to resources. They work with schools. They work with law enforcement. They work with medical professionals. They walk with individuals who are trying to navigate mental health challenges that can feel overwhelming and isolating, but that is just the beginning. They host community events that open the door to conversations about mental health. They attend health fairs and local gatherings to meet people face to face and answer questions. They help people understand what symptoms they may be experiencing and where to turn. They give families the language to talk about what they are seeing in a loved one. They help individuals understand their rights in a medical setting. They provide advocacy when someone feels unheard or unsure of their next steps. And here is the key part. All of this is free. Every single class, every single support group, every workshop, free. That is the kind of thing that only happens when an organization is powered by heart, mission, and community support. You never receive a bill for walking into a NAMI program. You are not charged for asking for help. You are not turned away because insurance will not cover something. NAMI removes those barriers entirely, so the only thing someone needs to bring is themselves. Let me talk for a moment about the people. The staff at NAMI Southwest Iowa are remarkable. They are compassionate. They are knowledgeable. They are experienced, and they care deeply about the people they serve. I've watched them step into many situations. I've watched them bring calm to people. I've watched them give hope to someone who walked in completely empty. These are people who answer late-night calls when a family needs immediate guidance. They sit with individuals who feel fragile and overwhelmed. They talk to parents who fear they are losing their child to something they cannot control. They walk families through the difficult process of finding treatment options. They celebrate victories big and small. They stay connected long after a crisis has passed, and they do it without judgment, without hesitation, without making anyone feel like a case number. These are real relationships, real support, and real progress for real people. They understand trauma. They understand depression. They understand anxiety, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, PTSD, and so much more. They know the medical side and the human side, and they know how to help bridge the gap between the two so people can get the care and understanding they deserve. Now let's talk about why organizations like NAMI matter so much right now. Mental health is not an abstract issue. It's not something that happens to other people. It is everywhere. Nearly every family is touched by it. Every school, every workplace, every neighborhood. We live in a world where life moves pretty fast. Pressure builds, expectations pile up, people feel disconnected, and people feel alone. That loneliness can turn into something heavy, something dark, something that people do not want to talk about because they are afraid of being judged. And that is exactly why NAMI exists. To open the door to these conversations, to take away the shame, to say, you are not alone, and you do not have to do this by yourself. In our culture, we celebrate physical strength, financial success, and hard work, but we often overlook emotional health. We often encourage people to tough it out. Toughness is a good thing, but it becomes dangerous when it keeps someone silent. NAMI helps people learn that strength also comes from reaching out, from talking, and from healing. And here in Southwest Iowa, the need is even more unique. We are a rural region. We have small towns and long stretches between resources. We have communities where everyone knows everyone, and sometimes that makes it even harder for someone to ask for help. NAMI Southwest Iowa steps in to bridge those gaps. They travel. They meet people where they are. They bring education to towns that may not have another mental health resource for 30 or 40 miles. They do not wait for people to come to them. They go out into the community. They hold meetings in libraries, schools, community centers, churches. They speak at local events. They visit workplaces. They sit at kitchen tables with families who are trying to understand what their loved one is going through. They help people navigate telehealth, paperwork, referrals, and all the overwhelming steps involved in mental health care. They make sure that mental health support is not something only available in larger cities or big clinics. They bring that support home, and that matters. It matters more than people realize. Let's talk about impact for a moment. When someone reaches out to NAMI, they might not be going through one of the hardest days of their life, or maybe they are. They might be a parent who does not know how to help their child. They might be an individual who feels their thoughts are starting to spiral. They might be someone who has carried a burden in silence for years. NAMI Southwest Iowa gives these people a place to breathe, a place to speak openly, a place to learn what is happening and how to navigate it. And most importantly, a community that says, you matter. Your life matters. And your story matters. And that sense of belonging is powerful. It helps people move from crisis to stability, from confusion to clarity, from fear to hope. It helps families stop blaming themselves and start understanding. It helps individuals feel seen for who they are, not for what they're struggling with. That kind of support does not just change one life. It changes entire families, entire communities, and sometimes it even saves lives. There are countless stories of people who walked into a support group feeling broken and walked out feeling understood. Stories of parents who finally realized they were not alone. Stories of individuals who found the courage to seek treatment because someone at NAMI took the time to listen. Stories of people who stayed alive because NAMI showed up at exactly the right moment. And this brings me to the final and most important part of today's conversation, why it is important to support NAMI Southwest Iowa. Because none of this happens by accident. None of this happens automatically. This work only continues because people care enough to make it happen. Every class, every support group, every outreach event, every crisis conversation, every mile driven to a small town where someone needs help, all of it is possible because of support from the community. Resources do not magically appear. Staff do not appear out of thin air. Programs do not run without funding. Everything NAMI Southwest Iowa does is powered by people who believe in their mission. Supporting NAMI Southwest Iowa is not just writing a check. It is not just attending a fundraiser. It is investing in the well-being of your neighbors, your coworkers, your friends, your family, maybe even yourself. When you support NAMI, you are supporting prevention. You are supporting early intervention. You are supporting recovery. You are supporting education. You are supporting hope. And hope is something every community needs. Mental health is a community issue, not an individual one. And strong communities step up when people need them. Supporting NAMI ensures that when someone is struggling, they have somewhere to turn. Somewhere safe. Somewhere that understands what they are going through. Maybe you will never need their services. I hope you never do. But someone in your life will. Someone at your workplace will. Someone in your church or your neighborhood, they will. And when that moment comes, NAMI will be ready. They always are. But only if we support them. Think about the ripple effect. Someone who gets help becomes a better parent, a better partner, a better coworker, and a better friend. Someone who gets support becomes more stable and more confident, more hopeful. And that affects everyone around them. Mental health support is not just about saving lives. It's about improving the quality of life for entire communities. If you want a stronger Southwest Iowa, a healthier Southwest Iowa, and a more compassionate Southwest Iowa, then supporting NAMI is not optional. It is essential. So here's my ask. Learn more. Share their mission. Attend an event. Volunteer when you can. And if you are able, support them financially. Even a small amount goes a long way because this is not just an organization. It is a lifeline, and it's one of the most important lifelines we have. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring about this topic. And thank you for caring about the people who need this kind of support. And thank you in advance for helping NAMI Southwest Iowa continue their mission. We are all in this together. And together, we can make sure that no one in Southwest Iowa walks their mental health journey alone. If you are looking to buy or sell a home in Southwest Iowa, Blake Hunter, your trusted realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, is the guy that you need to call. Blake knows the local market and is dedicated to helping you find the perfect place to call home. He also hosts a popular podcast called Hunting Home, which you can find on YouTube and across all of the audio platforms. So whether you're a first-time buyer, upgrading, or ready to sell, Blake Hunter is here to guide you every step of the way. Visit his website, blakehunter.homes. And for precision metal fabrication done right, it's Foxco Fabrication, custom welding, large-scale manufacturing, bringing your ideas to life with expert craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology. Go to their website to learn more, maybe get some ideas for a project, foxcofab.com. Thank you so much for listening and watching today, and please go to NAMISouthwestIowa.org to learn more about this organization and about how you can help. My name's Todd Studer. Have a great Monday.